All the bench presses, shoulder presses, lat pull downs, barbell curls, tricep extensions, squats, deadlifts, bent over rows, sit-ups.
What's up everyone, David here. Got a new video for y'all today, but before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos, because for those who don't know, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. 2024 is here. New year, new you. You're gonna start working out, you're gonna start hitting the gym, building muscle, losing fat, gaining strength. Whatever your goal is, I'm here to help you out. A lot of you may be going to the gym with the specific goal of building muscle. Again, this video is going to be aimed towards those of you who maybe are a little on the thinner side and you want to start going to the gym to start building muscle, gaining that mass. I was like that a couple years ago. I was always a thinner built. My goal is always bulking up. And I like to point out, for those of you who be saying, no, and by I'm talking about mainly the females. I'm talking about women that would be saying, I don't want to start working out because I don't want to start getting too bulky. Bro, I've been trying to get too bulky, all right? It doesn't come as easy as you may think, trust me. But for those of you who are trying to get too bulky, gain the muscle, but you don't know what program to do, this is the video to watch right here, all right? Stay tuned until the very end. You'll see what is going to be a good, roughly beginner level program that you can follow. Now, I want to say cautious when I say beginner level, because at the end of the day, whether you're a beginner or an advanced lifter, the exercises are going to stay the same. All right, a bench press is a bench press. It's a chest workout, tricep workout, front delt. A pull-up is a pull-up. A squat is a squat. Doesn't matter whether it's your beginner, intermediate, or advanced lifter. The exercises are always going to stay the same. Why do you think back in the day in the 70s, Arnold and all these other bodybuilders, what do we see them doing? We see them doing rowing, pressing, squatting, deadlifting. To this day, what are some of the best exercises that people are still doing? Squatting, benching, rowing, deadlifting. Again, basics are the basics. That's what we're going to be sticking towards. So for those of you who do not know where to start and what to do when it comes to your working out, here is a simple 5-day split that you can follow. And it is currently the 5-day split that I am doing it. So although I am roughly an intermediate level lifter, this could also be applied to a beginner as long as you know you're taking the right precautions towards it. So here are my 5 days. I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is a rest day, so we're not gonna count that. And then we got Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, again, is the second rest day of the week. So here's what I got. Monday, legs. Tuesday, chest and shoulders, okay? But the triceps are still being worked indirectly there. We'll get in depth about that. I got a back day with the biceps still being worked indirectly. Again, we got that rest day. Then we got, again, legs. And then the last day is just a general upper body day, but with an emphasis on arms. So doesn't matter which day it is. The first 2 exercises I do by themselves. The first 2 exercises of every day are going to be the main 2 priority lifts of that day. The big compound lift or the big movements that I really want to build up. Every exercise after that is going to be supersetted. Why? Because I don't want to be stuck in the gym all day, all right? A lot of us don't have time. If you're new, you're not going to be spending 2, 3, 4 hours in the gym. Man, we got to get in, get out. You don't have to be spending a whole lot of time in the gym. You just got to get in, do the work, know what's necessary, not fuck around, don't waste time, and then get out, all right? Gym is not life. You shouldn't be there all day, all right? Get straight to the point, get the work in, there, done, out the door. So, again, 2 main exercises. After that, 2 exercises supersetted, and after that, another 2 exercises supersetted. Simple. So at the end of the workout, I'm only doing 6 total exercises. Now, what may change is the amount of sets that I am doing. Again, a lot of you beginners, a lot of you are doing so many different exercises for one muscle group, especially chest. You should not be doing so many exercises for your chest, all right? It's not that big of a muscle group as you may think it is. You're doing bench press, you're doing incline press, you're doing cable crossovers, you're doing flies, then you're going back to an incline, but this time instead of doing a barbell, you're doing dumbbells, then you're going to the decline, all right, and then you're doing push-ups. You don't need so many different exercises. I'm just keeping it simple. So let's break it down. On leg day, The first exercise that I prioritize is going to be some type of squat variation. You choose whichever squat variation you want. If you're a beginner, maybe you have to do a goblet squat. Hold the weight out in front of you. Make sure you protect that form. Maybe you're going to be doing a hack squat. Maybe you're going to do a regular barbell back squat. Maybe you're going to do a front squat. Up to you. Just pick some type of squat variation and focus on the form. Second exercise is going to be something for that movement. It's going to aid you in your squats, but aim it more towards a quad specific exercise. After that, those two movements are done. These next two, we're going to superset. And anytime you're supersetting movements, do not have them be the same muscle group. All right, if I just knocked out a set of chest, I'm not going to superset it with another movement for my chest. All right, ultimately at the end of the day, you're not letting that muscle group rest. All right, if you're gonna be supersetting exercises, please try your best to make it 2 different exercises for 2 opposing muscle groups. So here's what I do. The next 2 movements that I'm gonna be supersetting, one thing is for hamstrings, one thing is for calves. All right, because if I do 2 hamstrings back to back, by the time I get to the second exercise, my form is gonna fall apart. I'm not gonna push as hard because I'm already fatigued from the first one. All right, that's the first set of supersets. The next superset exercises are gonna be, again, another hamstring exercise and another calf exercise. So as you can see, I did 2 exercises per muscle group. 2 for the quads, those were the first 2. 2 for the hamstring, 2 for the calves. All right, so ideally, this is the way a leg workout will look for me. Starting off with squats. Again, second movement by itself, I'm gonna go with something quad emphasis. I'm gonna go with a leg extension. After that, I'm supersetting hamstrings and calves. So I'm gonna go with an RDL supersetted with maybe seated calf raises. After that, again, supersetting hamstring and calves. I'm gonna go this time with leg curls supersetted with standing calf raises. You can see, real simple, nothing crazy. I'm not doing all these fancy exercises. Basics are basics. Now, that's it for the leg day. Now for the next day, Tuesday, we're moving on to chest, shoulders, and triceps, but we're not really doing a tricep exercise per se. I'll explain to this. Anytime you're doing any type of pressing movement, you're working your chest, your triceps, and your front delt, the front of your shoulder. Okay, you don't need to be spending so much time doing a bunch of these. No, get the big movements and get those other muscle groups involved. Your chest, your shoulders, everything else. All right, you save time that way. You're building more muscle groups at one time using only one exercise. So here's what I do. Again, 2 main movements and then 2 sets of supersets. So the first movement, it's gonna be some type of pressing variation, whatever you want. Dumbbell bench press, barbell bench press, barbell incline, dumbbell incline, something pressing. Hell, if you even got access to machines, do a machine press for all I care. All right, do something pressing. That's your main movement. That's your priority. Afterwards, I'm gonna do some type of assistance exercise that's gonna aid in that movement, and preferably, I'm gonna do it something to emphasize the upper portion of my chest. And I like to point out, for those of you who maybe think that anytime you do an incline pressing movement, that it's only going to work your upper chest, that is not the case, all right? You cannot only work one part of your chest. An incline bench press does not work your upper chest only. It works out your entire chest. It's just gonna have a little bit more of an emphasis on the upper. When you do a flat bench press, you're still working your upper chest. It's just not to as much of a degree. It's not the biggest emphasis. Just want to point that out there. Now we're gonna be supersetting 2 exercises together. One of which is gonna be specifically for the chest. It's a chest isolation movement. So any type of fly motion where you're opening and closing your arms without bending the elbow, that's what I personally am going to be doing for, again, the pec only. That I'm supersetting with some type of shoulder press. Doesn't matter if it's a push press, dumbbell bench press, an Arnold press, or just a barbell bench press, single arm, both on the same time. Just something, lift those arms over your head. After that, next set of superset exercises. Now I'm aiming more for the side delt and the rear delt. Again, your shoulder, your delts, 3 portions of it. Front delt allows your arm to move forward. Side delt, bring your arm to the side. Rear delt allows you to bring your arm from right here back and from right here out. So we want to address all 3 issues. Anytime you're doing any type of pressing movement, again, bench press, incline, shoulder press, you're already working the front portion. Your front delt gets used more often than the other portions of your shoulder, just because of the nature of the other exercises you're doing. So why would I emphasize more of these if they're already being worked with all the pressing movements? No. Instead, I'm prioritizing the side, I'm prioritizing the back. So I'm gonna be supersetting any type of laterals, doesn't matter what's dumbbell or cable, with something that's for the rear delts, anything where I'm opening up this way. So in the end, what would a chest and shoulder workout look like? Starting off with a barbell bench press. Again, do all my sets. That's the only exercise. Move on to the second exercise. I'm gonna be doing dumbbell incline press. Those two exercises get done by themselves. Once I get those done, boom, time to superset. First two exercises I'm supersetting is a dumbbell shoulder press, supersetted with a chest fly. After that, next set of supersetted exercises are gonna be laterals for the side and supersetted with chest supported laterals. Again, face down, open up, feel it in the back of the shoulder. Notice that I did not do any of these. This muscle gets worked enough with the shoulder press and all the other pressing you're doing. That's it for chest and shoulders. And throughout all of that, there's plenty of exercises where I'm doing my triceps. All those pressing motions, we're working on my triceps. Why? I'm glad I asked. Your triceps allow you to lock out your elbow. Okay, so what are you doing with all of those movements? Bench press, I'm locking on my elbow. Shoulder press, I'm locking on my elbow. You see, so I'm inadvertently working out my tricep. So I don't need to spend extra time doing these and these. We can say that for a separate day. Now, moving on to back day. All right, back, big muscle group. Here's where it gets a little bit different. I like doing my deadlifts on back day, but it's not necessarily a back exercise per se. It's more of a glute and quad exercise, because again, you're starting off with your hips and your knees bent and you're forcing them to lock out. What's the muscle group that allows you to lock out your hips? Is your glutes. What is the muscle group that allows you to lock out your knees? Quads. It may feel like a lower back exercise because your lower back is working isometrically to keep your back straight. But for me personally, I like doing my deadlifts on back day. If you want to include it in leg day, by all means, do so. So I start off with deadlifts, and after that, I move on to some type of assistant exercise that helps me with my deadlift. So whether it be a deficit deadlift, if I've been struggling with getting the bar off the ground, I do some block pulls if I've been having some trouble with the lockout in the deadlift, things like that. Next, this is where you start to superset. Again, it's gonna be 2 back exercises. This is the only time where I'm supersetting 2 exercises where it's the same muscle group. I know I said not to do that earlier, but for back day, it just happens to work well for me. Again, back is my strongest muscle group. It's my strength, so I can get away a little bit with it. But this is just me personally. Again, this is my workout. This is what I'm doing. You don't have to do it, just giving y'all some pointers. Bent over rows, or just any type of rowing motion. Again, arm out, boom, bring it towards you. Doesn't matter which one you want. After that, superset with some type of pull down where your arms are above you and you're pulling it down. So it could be things like lat pull downs with a cable machine, or just something body weight like pull-ups right here. Whatever you want, you just gotta pull down. That's the first superset. Next superset is gonna be, again, another rowing exercise where the arms are out and you wanna pull them in. That's going to be superset with something for the traps. And one of the easiest exercises for your traps, shrugs. All the times that you said in school, I don't know. Well, now just do the same thing, but with dumbbells in your hand. I don't know. Just shrug those shoulders. You can even do it with a barbell, whatever you want. Just something for the traps, because you know, it is a muscle group, completes the look from your shoulder to your neck. That's it for the back day. So what would a typical one look like for me? Starting off with deadlifts. All right, just straight from the floor, rip it up, keep my back straight, good form. Do all my sets. Then move on to deficit deadlifts, because lately I've been having a little bit of trouble getting the bar off the ground, so I need to build some more power out of that bottom portion. So deficit deadlifts, elevate myself on a platform a bit. Next, supersetting bent over rows, because for me personally, that is one of my favorite exercises for back. Supersetting that with just normal lat pull downs, just to work out that general area of your upper back. Next, superset seated cable rows, again, one of my personal favorites, with dumbbell shrugs. Real simple, nothing complicated, nothing too fancy, just simple exercises. Get the weight from point A to point B, good form, you're good to go. Next is going to be that rest day. We already did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is going to be a rest day, but when I say rest, it doesn't mean it's a day to slack off. All right, you should still be doing something. It doesn't mean you should be letting your guard down. All right, so what do? I work those different muscles that I don't really get a chance to fit in during the workouts the other days of the week. So what does that mean? Core or abs. For me personally right now, it's abs and neck. Remember, your neck is a muscle, all right? Do not be a noodle neck, all right? Do not be a pencil neck geek. You need a thicker neck, okay? We work on all these different exercises to stabilize our spine. We work on our lumbar spine, which is your lower back. Do exercises like hinges. We do a lot of rowing to help with the upper back. Why is it that your neck is the only part of your spine where we're not doing some type of exercise to strengthen it? No, you need to work out your neck, especially if you're playing a combat sport where you're getting hit in the head. Your neck, what does it do? It's a shock absorber. Keeps you from getting concussions. All right, so work it out. So I do something as simple as I do head extensions with the neck harness, and I do head raises where I put the weight on my forehead and then curling up. Again, I got the back side and I got the front side. Now, you can do any variation of that. You want to do it with a plate, want to do it with a band, whatever you want, just do something. And then for abs, I typically go just with 2 exercises. Again, if you want to work your entire core, you can even include some rotation for some obliques. You can do something for the lower back here, because remember, your abs are not your core. They are a part of your core, but there's other muscle groups in that area. Me specifically, especially if you're a beginner too, maybe just stick with the abs, maybe a little bit of rotation. But for me personally right now, what I'm doing is just 2 exercises for the abs right here. So what I'm doing overall for this rest day of a workout is going to be starting off with the neck, head extensions, specifically with the neck harness, whatever you want to call it. And then afterwards, flip it over, do some head raises to work out the front of the neck. That's it for the neck. For the abs, I'm starting off with some standing crunches with the cable specifically, and then afterwards I'm gonna flip it around. Now my back is on the bench, and now I'm doing some seated crunches. Again, real simple, just 4 exercises, roughly 3 sets, nothing too crazy. Again, this is a rest day. This just gives me a chance to do a little bit of movement throughout the day, because although it's a rest day, you still got to burn some calories. You got to get some movement in there, get some blood flow going. Now, we covered every muscle group, at least every major muscle group up to this point. Now we need to repeat it again. You should be working out each major muscle group at least twice a week, okay? If you're a beginner, you might be a little bit sore. You may have to start off with once a week, but it's highly encouraged you do at least 2 to 3 times per week. For me personally, I'm sticking with 2. If you're a beginner, I will stick to 2 until your body acclimates, and then maybe go to 3 times a week. But the thing is, I don't want to work out another 3 days of the week, all right? This is just, for me personally, that's too much, all right? I don't want to be living in the gym and having to commute and do all this stuff every day. Nah. So I'm going to condense it down to 2 days. So we already did everything. Those first 3 days, had the rest day. Now, instead of doing legs, chest and shoulders, and a back day, no, we're gonna combine those 2 days and just do a leg day, which is lower body, and then combine the 2 other days and make it together for just a general upper body day. So for the leg day, it's gonna be the exact same format as the first one, just with different exercises. So for example, this time, the first movement, again, it could be a squat. If you want to change a different variation, please do so. Then the next movement after that, another quad specific exercise. So in this case, I'm gonna go with the leg press. Why not? Afterwards, supersetting hamstrings and calves, I'm gonna go with a seated hamstring curl, and then superset that with standing calf raises. Real easy. Next superset, exactly like the first day. Again, another hamstring, superset with another calf exercise. So this time I'm gonna go with single leg RDLs, and then I'm gonna go superset it with single leg calf raises. Real simple. Like I said, exactly the same format as the first leg day, just different exercises to give a little bit more variety. Now here's where things get different. That last day of the week, again, we're combining the chest and shoulder day and the back day together for just a generalized upper body day. For this generalized upper body day, starting off with something pressing, again, because that's for the first day, what would have been on Tuesday. Remember the chest and shoulder? Something pressing. Next movement, something rowing. Again, those 2 movements get done by themselves. The next movements are the ones that get supersetted. But since this is a beginner level 1, many of you, again, are gonna have the goal of building muscle. We'll throw a little bit of bodybuilding in there. So we'll just say that this last day, upper body day, is an upper body day, but with a little bit more emphasis on arms. So the next movements are gonna be 2. We're gonna superset some tricep specific exercise, because remember, up to this point, we have not done a isolated tricep exercise. We've done other movements that work the triceps, like the pressing, but we haven't actually done a tricep specific exercise. Now's the chance. All right, we already did our pressing movement out the way for the day. Now let's give a little bit of direct love to the tricep. So we're gonna go with some type of tricep isolation movement, whether it be a cable, dumbbells, barbells, anything where you're forcing your elbow to lock out. That's fair game. Whether it's over here over your head, or down here, up to you. We're gonna superset that with a forearm exercise for the big beefy part of your form right here, because again, your forearms are also a muscle. Why not work it out? So any type of wrist curl, anything where you're bringing your hand up like that, that's gonna work out the big beefy part of your forearm. Doesn't matter if you want to do it with a barbell, dumbbell, cable machine, a band, anything, just force your hand up. All right, curl that wrist. Next superset, now we're showing direct love to the bicep, because we have not done a single curl. That's all you need. For biceps, you don't need to be so fancy about it. Any type of curl variation is going to work, because what do your biceps allow you to do? They allow you to actually bend your elbow against resistance. So just find anything where you're forcing your elbow to bend. Good form, boom, curls is more than enough. I'm gonna superset that with another forearm exercise, but this time forearm working out the back part right here. You see this definition right here? This is the meaty, beefy part. We want to work out this part right here. So what do? Now it's going to be the opposite of what we did previously. You got to force your wrist up like that. Remember, the first superset with tricep was like this, beefy part. Nah, now flip it over. Wrist is down. You got to force it up to work this outer part of the forearm. Real simple. Again, with dumbbells, barbells, up to you. So in the end, what would this day look like for me personally? I'm going to start off with a bench press, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit to add a little bit more variety. I'm gonna go with a multi-grip bar, because again, it adds a little bit more emphasis to the triceps, takes a little bit of the pecs out of the equation. After that, I'm gonna do my pull-ups. Again, that's my rowing motion. So I still got my back work in there and a little bit of bicep. Again, you can choose whatever type of pull-up variation you want. Next, supersetting a tricep exercise with a forearm exercise. So I'm gonna go with single arm tricep pushdowns and superset that with dumbbell wrist curls. Next, supersetting biceps with forearms again. So I'm gonna go with a concentration curl for those biceps and finishing it off with some wrist extensions with the dumbbell. Real simple, everyone. Again, 5 days of good work, 1 rest day, which has a little bit of movement in there. And throughout all of this, you may have noticed there's some days where I throw in exercises where I'm only working 1 leg or 1 arm at a time. If you are a beginner, I highly recommend you start implementing single leg, single arm exercises, or unilateral, which is the right term to use here. Why? Because we all have 1 arm or 1 leg that's stronger than the other. If you're right-handed, go figure. Your right hand most likely is gonna be stronger than your left. If you're left-handed like myself, my left is obviously stronger. If you have 1 arm bigger than the other, 1 leg bigger than the other, okay, well, if you're doing an exercise where it's 1 at a time, good. The weaker, smaller one, do a couple extra reps. Real easy. Now, speaking of reps, for all of these different exercises, notice how I did not give any rep scheme, or I did not give any sets that you have to do. That's gonna vary from person to person. If you're a beginner, you will not be able to handle as many sets as someone who's an advanced lifter, all right? So if you're a beginner, I would recommend maybe going 3 sets, good sets. I cannot emphasize it enough. Warm-up sets do not count. 3 good working sets per muscle group, so that at the end of each workout, you did roughly 6 good sets per muscle group. 6 sets for the quads, 6 sets for the hamstrings, 6 sets for the calves. And that goes for every single workout. As you become more of an advanced lifter and you start seeing not as much progress necessarily, then you can increase the sets. Start doing 4, 5 sets per exercise. So at the end of the workout, maybe you're doing 10 to 12 good working sets per muscle group. If you're a beginner, do not get caught up in the number of exercises you do. You just saw, we only did realistically 2 exercises per muscle group. At the end of the workout, we only did roughly 6 exercises overall. At the end of the day, it does not matter how many different exercises you do per muscle group. What matters is the total working sets you do towards that one muscle group. So, for example, if you do 6 different exercises for chest, but you do each exercise for only 1 set, well, then go figure, at the end of the workout, you did 6 sets of chest. But if you were to go back and do 6 sets of 1 chest exercise, what do you do at the end? 6 sets for chest. So you see, it's the same thing. Number of exercises does not matter. What matters is total working sets for that muscle. Now, if you want to be picky about your exercise selection, you can, because we all have our preferences and we know which muscle groups respond better to certain exercises. You just got to play around with it. There you have it, everyone. Just my personal workout routine that I'm doing right now that I would recommend to you if you're lost and don't know how to split up your workouts. Again, this is aimed for those who are trying to build muscles. This is more or less a bodybuilding split. Everything gets done twice a week, focusing on each individual muscle group, but still having a priority of the big compound lifts. This is just what has helped me, and I hope it can help all of you. Comment down below if this video was helpful. Also comment down below, what is your split? What are exercises that helped you? What helped you just ultimately build more muscle? The type of exercises, how often you train how many sets, you know, things like that. Put it down in the comments below. Let's try to help each other out. Also comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do. Doesn't matter whether it's about mindset, motivation, diet, nutrition, workouts, programs, whatever it is. Being that it's new 2024, new year, comment down below. I'll be more than happy to help y'all get started on this fitness journey and carry this momentum throughout the rest of the year. I know we're in January, you're motivated, gyms are packed right now. Do not fall off. Stay consistent with these fitness goals until the end of the year. All right, make it happen. Also, be sure to subscribe not just to this channel, but my girlfriend's channel and our couple's channel so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, we got new videos every week across the board for all 3 channels. This channel specifically every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And then for Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Follow me on my accounts, my girlfriend's accounts, couple's accounts. I put all the links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.